Water availability is, of course, hugely important. It's nice to get water out of your tap. And it's also hugely important to agriculture, obviously, which is a big part of the California economy. So Steven Chu, who's now our energy secretary, had this to say to the LA Times a couple of years ago about the consequences of unchecked global warming. I don't think the American public has gripped in its gut what could happen. We are looking at a scenario where there's no more agriculture in California. I don't actually see how they can keep their cities going, he added. And he was someone who lived in California, I should add. So other impacts that Californians are going to feel, and in many places already are feeling, is increased wildfire risk. This is certainly true this year. After a pretty dry winter, the National Interagency Fire Center just recently predicted that large parts of Southern and Central California, along with the forests throughout the Sierra Nevada, will see more wildfires than normal this year, particularly this summer, going into the summer. So rising sea levels are obviously going to affect the California coast and are going to affect a lot of coastal infrastructure. What can live and what can grow in the state is going to change with potentially very serious consequences. Just to give you one example, a sort of iconic example, obviously, not necessarily an economically important example, is the Joshua Tree. It's projected that over the course of the next several decades, the climate in Joshua Tree National Park is going to change so much that it will be impossible for Joshua trees to grow and reproduce in the park. So there will be no more, eventually there will be no more Joshua trees in Joshua Tree National Park, just as there will be no more glaciers in Glacier National Park.